Milo, I want to ask you this question because you talked about legacy and the Roman emperors. I'm wondering if you think the loss of that in modern civilization, that many people no longer care about their legacy and their history, is a defining factor in why things are the way they are, falling, becoming darker.
Yes, it's a product of women's suffrage. The kinds of people who were plausible candidates for office changed when the voting base broadened. And I don't think it's controversial to say that the sexes are different and have different priorities and different preoccupations and different ways of approaching the question, who do I want, right? I am of the view that women's suffrage changed politics for the worse because I think it opened the floodgates to opportunistic, charming sociopaths who might previously have been weeded out or considered not the right kind of person. Sometimes you see glimpses of this if you watch Mary Poppins, right? And the dad, who's kind of like vilified, Mr. Banks, is the only virtuous character in the whole thing. And he's talking about how discipline, order, and that essential English virtue, restraint, are the basis of a well-function of a orderly civilization, and those are the virtues, the values, the habits that we should aspire to. And all around him, he's got this pampered, prideful mess of a wife who can't be bothered to be a mother and is churning through nannies instead because she's got her whatever. There's this witch who descends from the sky and gives the kids psychedelic drugs, I guess.
Yeah, we got to remake this movie, by the way.
And tells them, no, it's already there. They already did it. She kind of wears the thin veneer of rules and manners, but really she preaches chaos. And she undermines. There's stuff in that movie that is on purpose. Like in Feed the Birds, she has the audacity to claim knowledge of what the saints think about airborne rodents pooping on cathedrals, damaging the architecture. It's a very subversive movie about the triumph of witchcraft over virtue. But
is that what it is? Mary Poppins?
Oh, it's hideous.
It's fascinating.
It's very dark. It's very dark. You have this. We have to do like a thing where we watch it and you do like a director's commentary kind of thing where you explain all this stuff. There's a show in Britain, I think, called Gogglebox where the show is two people on a couch talking about the show they're watching, and it sounds like unendurable, but it's really good.
Bobblebox?
Gogglebox. I think I've never seen it, but everybody loves it. There's so much in that movie, to unpack the way that she presents as an appropriate candidate for the role, but then immediately sets about wrecking the social order, and it's a particular kind of Christian restraint that Mr. Banks is explaining. He's saying that we can't just give in to every reckless and wild abandoned temptation. He's saying in order to prosper and to be happy and to be successful and for our ancestors to be proud of us and our descendants to be grateful to us, there are virtues we should cleave to that involve not indulging ourselves. And what does Mary Poppins come and do? She comes and makes a mockery of the business of tidying the room by using witchcraft, so there's no effort expended, violating the natural order of things and teaching the kids that they can do their chores without the effort required, and therefore they don't learn the lessons from it. She takes them on this psychedelic journey, teaching them nonsense words. She praises... you won't know this as Americans, but you don't feed pigeons in London. They're rats with wings. That's what we call them. This lullaby to send people to sleep is about encouraging a vermin that has destroyed the architecture of London. Everything in that movie is about undermining or overturning the natural order of things. And this is what the headless, selfish, prideful mother, wrapped up in her own political escapades, neglecting her duties as a mother, is engaged in. She's engaged in the business. Now, the reason that I abhor women's suffrage is not that it was something women just demanded that they don't deserve or that they're not capable of executing. Actually, it was a manifestation of cowardice from the men, because it was a way of saying, you're on your own, handle yourself, I'm not responsible for your decision making, and therefore I can't be held accountable for what happens afterwards. Women's suffrage was a result of a crisis of confidence in the men, and this was greatly enhanced and concentrated by the 2 world wars that Europe experienced, where men, I think, basically lost the... they felt like they lost the right to rule. They felt like they'd wrecked the world. I mean, it's difficult for us from this distance to appreciate the unfathomable psychopathic horrors of the Third Reich, in whatever manifestation you choose to believe, whichever configuration of historical fact, they're all terrible. How a well-ordered Christian society gets to the point of going along with that is something that ought to haunt all of us, and it haunted everybody, because people had friends in Germany, and they're like, "How could you send your kids to the Hitler Youth?" Well, everybody's in the Hitler Youth. It's just like the Scouts. The way that country got swept up in it, it's something dark and dangerous about human nature that we are yet to really understand.